The 15-Point Plan is part of the Win, Make, Give podcast network.
Welcome to the 15-Point Plan. My name is Chad Himes, and today I am joined by the motivating Jillene Snell. Jillene, welcome to the podcast again today.
Hey, Chad. Thanks for having me.
Of course, I can't imagine a better co-host than you to be going through the 15-Point Plan with. And today we are on serve, which I think is a wonderful, wonderful category to have in the 15-Point Plan. One of the things that Ben always says, and the reason he put this on the 15-Point Plan is when you can take your mind off yourself and serve others, you're going to give yourself energy because you're going to stop worrying about the things that are going on in your world, Jill.
It brings a lot of perspective, doesn't it?
Always can. So I like to go to the dictionary and look up things. It's a good place to start for me. And serve means to act as a servant. So it wasn't really a very helpful definition, right? It kind of was a big loop to me, right? Because then when I looked up what servant meant, it meant serving others. So it was a very convoluted definition. What's your definition of serve?
Well, I actually put service, so service to others, which means to perform routine maintenance. And how I thought of that is that it's a process rather than an event. And so it's a continual thing versus, hey, once a year I'm going to do X.
Right. And a lot of people, they do serve that way. And there's nothing wrong with, hey, every year on a certain holiday, our family gets together and we go down and we serve others at a food bank or something along those lines. Nothing wrong with that. Yet we're going to talk about how you can turn service into something that you can do on a more daily basis. Fantastic quote by Aristotle here that says, "The essence of life is to serve others and do good." Sounds like another podcast we have, don't you think, Dave? We're doing good. That's right. The essence of life is to serve others and do good. We got some other quotes for you later as we jump into this. But Jillene, how about Oprah? She has quotes too. What did Oprah say about serving?
Yeah, she says, use your life to serve the world and you will find that it also serves you. I think if we find ourselves in a space where we might feel a little depressed or down, we can use service as a way to lift us up because like Oprah says, the world will also find a way to serve you once you have served others. Yeah,
and if you can give, you'll get. Another way of that quote kind of going, right? The more you give, the more you get. It's not about take. If you think about give, it'll always come back to you. So, Jillene, I want to talk about some of the benefits of serving. Did you know that serving will actually make you live longer?
I'm into that.
Yeah, I mean, everybody is, right? And I looked at volunteering for this and found a report that was in psychosomatic medicine, right? Did some homework on this, found that in a study that they did, people with a higher sense of purpose in life had a lower risk of dying. So due to this, psychologists encourage those who have retired or experienced loss or had some major life change happen, they've encouraged them to volunteer because it will actually fill their life and their time with new purpose, which will help them live longer. So whatever your situation, Jillene, volunteering takes your mind off your own troubles, will keep you mentally stimulated, and can bring for you a zest in life.
Those are some pretty good benefits. Are there more?
Oh, of course there's more, right? Because it also can increase your brain function because volunteering is good for mind and body. And a study done by Johns Hopkins University showed that volunteers increase their brain function. By volunteering, we were working with other people, which was stimulating our brain to learn new skills and communication, and it increased our brain function. And a second study found that volunteers reported better physical health than non-volunteers. That might just simply be because they got off the sofa and they went out and did something.
It could be.
Doesn't matter what, it's there for you. Okay. We also found, Jillene, that serving boosts social skills.
This is one of my favorites, actually.
Yeah. And again, a Duke University study, so we went out and did our homework on this one. They said that being involved in your community will boost your social skills. Serving has you working with a group of people that have common interests and goals, which will give you a chance to practice and develop social skills. The more time you spend with them, the more comfortable you feel around them, which will strengthen your social skills, helping you make more friends and more contacts.
Hmm.
And then, Jillene, there's one more benefit.
Okay.
Okay. One more benefit of serving: fights depression. So serving keeps you in contact with others because we will not be able to serve on our own. And research has shown that that leads to lower rates of depression because of interaction.
I love that.
So just right there, folks, we gave you reasons: fighting depression, boosting your social skills, increasing brain function, and just flat out living longer
Right.
as reasons that are worth serving. So Jillene, those were talking about volunteering, right? And there are some questions to ask yourself that I know you have here that we wanted to ask the audience, that if you want to volunteer and you don't know where, how, why, when, all those things, here are 4 questions that you can ask yourself that'll help you figure out how to volunteer. So Jillene, what are those questions?
Do you prefer to work alone or as part of a team? How much time are you willing to commit, or maybe even able to commit?
Yep.
What skills can you bring to a volunteer job? What causes are really important to you personally?
Yeah, and if you take the time and answer these 4 questions, you'll probably be able to find an organization that's looking for volunteers to help. Now, Jillene, just this morning, as I was driving in here to record this podcast with you, you sent me a quote. Share that with everybody.
Gosh, this one's really good. It's from Martin Luther King Jr.
Smart guy.
Mm-hmm. Chad, he says, everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love.
Say those last 2 sentences again, because that's just powerful.
Well, and if anyone knows me, grace is like my favorite word on the planet. He says, you only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love.
Powerful, powerful stuff. So Jillene, let's talk not only about volunteering, but let's take a few minutes and talking about ways we can just serve, because I know when we talked about volunteering, I could actually see you across the room shaking. Like you were getting, the sweats were breaking out on you because you were like, I don't have the time and the commit to be able to give that commitment on a regular basis. So you have for us some other ways we could serve that aren't necessarily going to take a commitment like showing up regularly for whatever the organization is.
Right. And maybe one day I'll have a few hours a day to devote to volunteer, or a week. Right now, my life situation doesn't allow me that. So time and money are a finite resource, you know, the amount we're able to donate or time we're able to give. But there's these other ways. And these other ways, Chad, they come from our nature.
Okay.
Because we are naturally good people. Humans are naturally good people. I want us to really think about that for a second. So how do we let the goodness from ourselves, from our nature, come out every day and give that to others? And so I think about that when I start my day.
Okay, so everybody pause right here listening to the podcast. Just push pause, go grab pen, paper, or taking notes digitally. Stop being in the car right now, because I want you to get these points Jillene's going to share, because when at the end of this episode, when we talk about how to earn your check mark for service every day on your 15-point plan, you know you're not able to volunteer every day. You know you're not able to maybe donate money every single day somewhere. These things Jillene's going to give you that come from within, these are things you could absolutely do one of these every single day to earn that check mark.
Anyone can do.
Okay, so now you can push pause, go get that stuff, unpause, come on back. Jillene, what's the first thing?
So we can learn something beneficial and share it in conversation with others. So for instance, Chad is a walking dictionary. So he always brings me something that he learned. Like right now, Chad's helping me with some of my knee health, right? And some of other health aspects. I was just talking to a friend last week about creating 529 accounts for their children. So you can share something that you learned with others. It could be a life hack, maybe a mindset tip, financial planning ideas.
Okay.
We can find and ask powerful questions to each other versus like be on autopilot. And I come in, you know, and I see Dave when I walk into this podcast room and I say, Dave, how are you? And that's okay. But what if I said, you know, what's been the best part of your day, Dave? And what if you ask someone like, looking back on your day, what 1% improvement would you want for yourself? What's the one most important thing you want to accomplish this year?
You know, Jillene, I'll jump in there at the end of every day. That's actually how Nita and I end our day. The last thing we'll say to each other as we're kind of unwinding at the end of the day is we'll look at each other and ask, and it's a joke almost to see who can get it out first. What was the best part of your day today?
Oh, I love that.
And it's not just I
How
love
was
you,
your
good
day?
night, or how was your day?
Right.
It was, what was the best part of your day? And sometimes the answer's small.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it was just, snuggling before we came to bed. Sometimes it's, oh, this happened today. Sometimes it's when we did that or when this happened. But it's not just asking the how are you questions.
Yep.
It's going deeper and asking those questions to serve other people.
And there's something else that goes along with that. When someone shares something special with you, like, hey, I'm running a half marathon in 2 weeks or a month, you could put that event in your calendar and text or call them the night before the event or the morning of the event and say, hey, I hope you run an amazing marathon today. You're going to do great. You're going to crush it. And you can encourage someone, and that's serving. That's a way of serving. You're giving them some encouragement that's going to help them go out and crush that marathon or whatever they're doing that day.
So you're not just saying, ask the deeper question. You're saying, and listen to the answer.
Listen to the answer. Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know if I have that in my list here, but listening could be like the lost art of social skill.
Yep.
And because we're always thinking like, hey, what can I say next?
Right.
Right? Like, what can I bring to the conversation? Sometimes what you bring to that person is simply listening to their answer and then taking note of it so you can come back and talk about it later.
Absolutely. So keep going on your list. So we could ask powerful questions. We could learn something and share it with other people we know it'll impact. What's next? This one's a tough one for me.
Yeah, I thought about Chad when I wrote this, actually. A calm demeanor puts others at ease.
Mm-hmm.
And here is where we would want to exercise emotional intelligence. We want to mirror and match people. We don't necessarily want to come in like having drank 4 cups of coffee and, overwhelm someone with our like abundant energy. Like, I think it's good to be calm and to speak with a nice pace. We talk about that a lot in sales, actually, right? When you speak at a calm pace, people automatically like and trust you more.
Yes.
But that happens with relationships and friends.
Okay.
A really simple one, Chad, is smiling.
Oh my goodness.
The other day I did like a little test, and as I was taking a long walk, I just waved at every single person that drove by me as I was walking. I waved and smiled just to see how many people would wave back. I actually saw the biggest smiles on their faces. It was pretty cute. I got really good reaction to it.
And I'll tell you, there's nobody that's better at this than runners. You don't go for a run and pass another runner and don't see them smiling, head nodding, waving, something at each other. But it's just that little thing to serve other people and give them that energy boost. Give me one more, Jillene.
I think just being there for someone in the hardest of times and do it without preaching. I think it's easy for us to want to just go fix the situation when someone's going through a hard time. And that comes back to listening. So getting off of the soapbox and just asking them, is there anything I can do to support you? How are you? Do you want to go on a walk and just chat? And Ryan Gregg is really great at that for me. He'll just ask me, hey, it seems like you're having a tough day. Do you want to go on a walk?
And I'll say Ben Kinney is a master at that.
He really is.
Taking people for a walk when they need it to get them into a new environment. Okay, so there's lots of places you can serve. And we want to mention this to you, just helping your friend is serving.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe taking this episode and sharing it with them is service because they need to be listening to this. They need to hear this message. They need to know that they are serving other people, or they need to know that they're being served, or that you're there for them. So maybe it's take this episode and who can you share it with, right? Maybe it's like you like to do, Jillene, which is send that inspirational quote out. Send that text message out to, I get the quote from you all of a sudden, puts a smile on my face, makes me think a little bit differently, whatever it is. Or maybe you even can take service and tie it to gratitude from the 15-point plan.
I like that.
And you can text somebody what you're grateful for about them so you can be serving them while sharing gratitude.
Well, there's kind of a funny story about that. I've had people give me compliments and they'll say, oh, but you probably hear that all the time. I'm like, actually, I don't. And when you say that to me, I'm so grateful that you gave me those words of encouragement or that compliment or that quote, because I need lots of it. And I think sometimes we underestimate the need of people around us and how much we can serve them in these really, really simple ways that don't actually take a lot of time or take a lot of money.
Well, Jillene, let me serve you right now.
Okay.
You're an amazing co-host. Love having you here for the 15-point plan. And everybody out in our audience.
Likewise, Chad.
Serve you and tell you that we appreciate each and every one of you that's out there that's joined us on this journey as we're going through the 15-point plan. We're almost at the end of it. So coming up soon on the end of the 15-point plan before we jump into season 2. Jillene, let's wrap this one up. I need to check the box because I'm doing the 15-point plan. I've visited 15pointplan.com and I've downloaded the tracker. How do I earn my check mark for service?
We talk about doing each of the 15 points purposefully, Chad. And so this one's no different. We want to purposely find time each day to be of service to someone or something that is bigger than us.
That's awesome. It's a great way to wrap this up. We really, really hope that the 15-point plan has been of service to you so far and continues to be of service to you as we finish taking you through each of these 15 points to help you create more energy, better health, and happiness. Make sure you join us on our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/winmakegive, where we get to talk about each of these episodes in detail after we air them. And we really, really hope there's somebody you can serve by sharing this episode with them so they can learn more about service and the 15-point plan. We hope that this has upped your energy and takes you to the next level.